Hey guys, and welcome to another video about drawing your own manga and anime character hairstyles. I'll show you all about the secrets behind fancy hairstyles of your favorite characters, so let's begin. If you want to learn how to draw faces themselves, you can click on these two links for the male and female faces. And when you're done with those and draw your own faces, you can definitely proceed to this video and I will show you the main parts you should definitely pay attention to on your character's faces to get the best results. So, the first thing you definitely need to pay attention to is the edges of the hair. A lot of people just start drawing hair straight out, which can look awesome, but can also look very confusing if you don't know where to place certain parts like sideburns and the forehead. So, since you guys know that manga face is divided in half to place the eyes, then in half again to place the nose, and in half between the nose and the chin to have the exact spot where to place the character's mouth. We do the same thing for locating the character's forehead. So if we cut the face in half, well, we don't cut it exactly, but if you cut the length of the face or the height of the face, you can cut that in half and mark that as the height of your character's forehead. It wasn't that complicated, was it? So now that we know where our forehead edge is, we should definitely know where the entire forehead connects with sideburns. Sideburns are a very important thing, and both the male and female characters have them. So next to the ear you can place a small pointy shape and mark your character's sideburns. It's very important because sideburns connect with the character's forehead. I'm using colored markers to show you guys where to place this important part, so you don't need special markers for this. I'm just using colors to make things look easier for you. Okay, so when you know where your character's sideburns and forehead is, it's easier to make your haircuts not go or start from within a forehead. That would be very disturbing, to be perfectly honest. Okay, so when we know where the forehead is, the rest of the head, which is marked with this gray circle you can see in this face, the circle is actually a marker for our character's bare head. No hair should be touching the bare head unless it's a super short, almost shaven hair. For any type of haircut, you need to place or leave out a small amount of space around the bare head, and this space is the minimum size for your haircut because every hair needs volume, needs thickness. This is very important. Let's proceed to character hair shaping. So if you want to shape your character's haircut and make it look cool and defy gravity and make a really awesome hero looking male character or a super cute female character, you need to know what kind of hair goes with which character. We will do a simple shonen haircut by just placing one spot on the side of the character's head. Then we'll make an explosion. We're gonna literally make like a star. This is very important because this is a trick that you can use to get really cool looking manga male hair, which looks really explosive like. So I'll use a regular pencil and just draft out the manga hair. You can imagine manga hair not as hair by hair, but strand by strand. So you can definitely turn this red. Again, I am just using the red color to show you how you can envision a character's haircut even before you even drew it. So if you turn each of these red lines into a strand of hair, for example, like this pointy strand, and add another smaller pointy strand, and add another pointy strand. If you use zigzag lines to turn each of these red lines into a pointy strand or a set of pointy strands, you have an instant manga hair. You can even add some longer sideburns, and if you end each strand with a point or two small pointy ends, you'll get an instant shonen hair. Of course, don't forget the sideburns, and don't forget the back of the head hair. It's very important, especially for male characters which have short hair. So I'm using a black marker just to show you how easy and fun this turned out. And you can see it better if I'm using a black marker just to emphasize the lines. As you can see, by switching from a smaller strand to a huge strand, that maybe add another smaller strand, then make another huge strand, then maybe make double-edged huge strand. By making different strands standing next to each other, you're getting a very exciting and professionally looking manga hair. Professionally, like a real manga author made your character. Well, you all can be professional manga authors one day, and that's why I'm helping you guys understand some of these tricks. Okay, so as for the girl characters, they usually have more of a serene look, more of a calm and flowy hair, maybe some locks and maybe some straight cut bangs. I'll show you how to make realistic straight cut bangs for this character on the right. So what you need to do is imagine a line going across your character's eyes. So right above the character's ears, for example. Then imagine this line being a heart rate monitor. Yeah, like the ones you see in the medical TV shows, and just make it straight zigzaggy, and bam, we have instant bangs. And if you add some parallel lines, some shorter and some longer on the straight parts of the bangs, you'll get a more realistic look. If you like, you can always add some very long and flowy sideburns and just leave the tips of the ears visible. And if you want to make this girl into a really romantic looking flowy hair character, you should definitely go even beyond this dotted line and just make it a half circle on your character's head, and proceed to making a hair into a flowy goodness. Nothing particularly complicated. And to finish it all off, we will just emphasize the main lines. So we have our heart rate monitor, beep 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 beep, and we turn that into realistically neat bangs. Then we need to draw out the long strands of hair in front of the ear. and focus on the hair shape in general. And if you want to make things look more detailed or more complex when you're like more ready for more complex things, you can always use parallel but curvy lines to make a texture for the hair, and just add more strands and just make the strands play and make flowy hair. And if all of this looks confusing to you guys, I'll do another little thing and just try to make it less complicated by covering some of the parts so that it looks more logical to you. So when we have bangs, there is no need to actually see the edge of the forehead or anything else for that matter that we were drawing in the first place, but it's always good to draw it out at first and to make sure that you're not making any mistakes, because if you make your hair too flat, your character will look sick, disfigured, and really not attractive. So try to always place your character beneath your hair and clothes, and that way your hair and clothes will look more realistic and more appropriate. Next up, I decided to play a little game called Guess the Characters. By using the aforementioned type of drawing hair, I decided to show you the skeleton beneath some of the most popular characters in manga and anime ever. And you can always leave your answers about guessing who these characters are in underneath my video. So yeah, I was combining few of the looks of the most iconic anime characters. I showed you guys where their hair shapes are starting off from on their heads, and just adding up some of the maybe details like, I don't know, braids or ponytails, or maybe some accessories which make these characters very recognizable. So you can just, I used like 4 pairings. I'll make it a bit easier. I'm currently drawing 4 pairings, and well, 4 pairs of people from the same anime, so this makes it a bit easier. If you recognize one character, you're bound to recognize the other character next to them. So as you can see, I was combining some long-haired men with short-haired women and vice versa, and both of them being long-haired, etc., etc., and just take a closer look at how the red lines and how that one single dot on a character's head makes their entire haircut shape. And of course you can see that there are no rules. You can use this one dot on the head as the beginning point for the haircut, but you can just play around and make longer bangs, shorter bangs, pigtails, ponytails, braids, accessories, etc., etc. You can combine long hair with short hair, and you can make their foreheads visible or not, ears can be visible or not, and just it's always about playing with your characters here, and it's all so basically simple. When you make their beginning point on the head, then turn it into different playful bangs and accessories. My personal advice to you guys is to just start simple. Trying out some very basic haircuts, because they can be overwhelming, and try to make these lines like I did on the green ones. Notice that I never go under them next to the skin of the scalp of the head itself, and just try to make these guidelines for yourself at first, and then try to make them less and less used, but still keep in mind that they do exist somewhere and that they are the symbol of the hair thickness, because as I said, you want your character's hair to be either fluffy and natural looking, but yet simple. Simplicity is what the toughest and yet the most beautiful part of manga is, because a lot of people know that their own hair is just full of tiny hairs and strands and so complicated, and yet you can see me using just a couple of zigzag lines and making them into very fun anime haircuts. So try this out at your home and try out making just a simple technique and using zigzag lines to create your own characters and their own haircuts. It's very a basic principle and yet so fun. Also, if you want, I can do some special videos about doing hair accessories. I'm always listening to you guys, so if you want me to do more tutorials, just leave that in the comments as well. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. If you want to send me your drawings, you can always do so on my Facebook page, Mistiqarts, and I'll be sure to feature your works, especially if you do some of my Manga Crash Course mascots. For all of those of you who want to learn how to draw manga, you can always use my book, Manga Crash Course, available in English and French languages, to learn all about creating your own characters, dressing them up, giving them haircuts, and just placing them in your own manga comic books. As for my work, if you like what I do, please support me on my Patreon page located in the description. See you guys next time!